Welcome to Victory Church. Tonight we are doing our Bible study on Monday, even though we released this video on Tuesday, August 13 today, August 14 tomorrow. I'm Gian, and with me a wonderful group of friends. To my right here, our brother Alberto Serrano. Hello, sir.
Hi.
Miss Tony.
Hello.
Mr. Brandon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Deborah.
Hello. I'm fine.
That's good. Miss Gloria, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Charlie?
Great.
Great. That's good. And also we have Tracy over a video conference. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. That's good. All right. We are studying Genesis 24 verses 1 through 9, and I'm going to invite somebody to read for us. And I think Miss Tony is the volunteer for tonight, right?
Yes.
The title of our lesson tonight is A Great Employee. All right, ready?
Abraham lived to be a very old man. The Lord blessed him in everything he did. Abraham's oldest servant was in charge of everything he owned. Abraham called that servant to him and said, "Put your hand under my leg. Now I want you to make a promise to me. Promise to me before the Lord, the God of heaven and earth, that you will not allow my son to marry a girl from Canaan." Canaan?
Yes, okay.
We live among these people. Don't let him marry a Canaanite girl. Go back to my country, to my own people, to find a wife for my son Isaac. Bring her here to him. The servant said to him, "Maybe this woman will not want to come back with me to this land. If that happens, should I take your son with me to your homeland?" Abraham said to him, "No, don't take my son to that place. The Lord, the God of heaven, brought me from my homeland to this place. That place was the home of my father and the home of my family. But he promised that this new land would belong to my family. May he send his angels before you that you can choose a wife for my son. If the girl refuses to come with you, you will be free from this promise, but you must not take my son back to that place." So the servant put his hand under the master's leg and made the promise.
Amen. And of course you are wondering, what is this thing about putting his hand under his leg, right? It's a weird thing. It's a cultural thing. Back in the day, in that part of the world, that was a sign like shaking hands today, right? Or signing a contract. They put the hand under the leg of the guy and said, "Okay, I'll do this and that. I promise that." It was just a custom, right? Now, what we know here is this. Abraham is old. He has his son, you remember? He prayed for that. It was a big, long story, but he has his son, Isaac. And now he is thinking, well, my son needs to get married. So he needs someone. And he was thinking, I need somebody that I can trust. And all these people, and where I am right now, I don't trust any of these families. They are whatever, but not what I want. So I want somebody from this particular place. And he decided to use this servant, the oldest servant that he had, this employee, to go and find this woman for his son, his future daughter-in-law. Tonight we are going to talk about becoming a good employee, which is precisely what this man was. And I have asked some of you guys that question, and we are going to review it. And I will start here to my right with Al. What are the main attributes that you see in someone if you have to hire this person to work for you?
Someone that takes initiative, bold, creative, and punctual.
Okay. Why those things are important to you?
Well, I mean, punctuality, I mean, it goes without saying. None of the rest of it matters if they're not there. So, I mean, it
True.
doesn't really matter. The best ability is availability, whether it's sports or just general work in general. Bold and creative, typically those two encompass a lot of things that you typically ask for separately. For example, someone that takes initiative. Well, if they're bold, they naturally take initiative. Someone who comes up with creative ways to fix things or to new ways to maximize stuff, typically the creativeness encompasses that. Someone who is good with customers, typically they're pretty creative. They come up with ways to service customers. So again, creativity and boldness, they encompass a lot of the small things, traits that people like. If they have those two things, typically they're pretty good employees. And again, punctuality. If they're not there, it doesn't matter how good they are. They got to be there.
Right.
And so that's why those three things.
That's good. You are experienced in your corporation for many years, right?
Mm-hmm.
You oversee tons of stores.
Yeah.
So you have the experience, the knowledge to say what you are saying. You're
Yeah.
not just guessing. You know that, right?
Yeah, over time, you make hires and you think, well, this person is so and so, right? And you name a particular trait. We'll give them a shot. Then you find out they weren't bold enough to take that trait and make it into something proactively. Constantly got to be around them, prodding them. Saying giddy up. That we come up with a saying. It's better to tell somebody whoa than to let's go. If you have to constantly tell somebody let's go, it's tough to make that work. It's easier to tell somebody whoa. You've done too much already. That's cool. I can live with that. And so just over time, you learn to find out what makes a good employee and what doesn't. And then again, in the end, that punctuality factor is just, like I said, it's just a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ms. Tony, you also are experienced. You worked for many years in the health system, and at the same time, you have been involved in business. So, from your view, what are the main attributes that you need to see in an employee?
I think honesty, hardworking, and I think they have to care. They have to care about their job. They have to care about the people that they come in contact with, and I think I think loving is a big part of being a good employee.
Loving?
Loving.
Can you explain a little bit more?
In the health world, if you don't really love people or care about people, it's very difficult to
Right.
have compassion for people
Right.
that are sick that you have to deal with day in and day out. I think one of the things that disturbs me the most is an employee that feels like that they're there to get a check, but they don't have to earn it.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
So.
Makes sense. Thank you. Thank you very much. Brandon, you work for a good company as well. From your view, what would you say would you expect from your supervisor, for instance? What kind of attributes would you say are necessary for someone to be a good supervisor?
I would say someone that could teach you things. That's probably one thing. Yeah, encouraging.
So someone that teaches you things, someone that encourages you.
Right.
Would you say those are the two main things
Probably.
that you will seek in a supervisor? Thank you, sir. Ms. Deborah, you worked for many, many years. Even you were a director for an organization. So what would you say are the main attributes of a good employee?
People that do their job, don't have to babysit them. That give you the respect, even though they may not feel it, maybe, but they still give you respect and show you respect. And they're anxious to learn.
That's very good. Very good. Thank you so much. And what do you think, Ms. Gloria, is a basic attribute that an employee should have?
I think to be able to carry on orders, whatever they're asked to do, just do it to the best of their ability.
That makes sense, right? You are absolutely right. And Charlie, from your perspective, if you happen to work for somebody, what would you say is basic that you will need to see in a supervisor that talks to you? What are those things that you think are necessary?
Loving, caring, and sharing and helping people.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that Tracy wants to share something.
What I would like to contribute is that I think that they need to have a good attitude. I think attitude is everything. And I think they need to be sincere. Everybody can tell when a person is not sincere. Everybody can. Everybody can tell when someone is being fake. And you can tell when someone has a very bad attitude, and they just, that's what I think is very important, is a good attitude.
Thank you, sweetheart. You are right. The good attitude. Great attitude. I agree. Well, friends, you are listening, watching, and wondering why you guys are talking about employment. This is supposedly a Bible study. What is the relationship, right? How is this connected with, well, you know, money, work, behavior, everything is related with the Lord. And the Lord wants us to be always a good example. And perhaps some of us need to refresh those concepts because we need to be good employees, serving the Lord and serving our communities the best way that we can. I want to share with you other concepts that experienced hiring managers told me. I went and asked different people, and I would like to share with you some of their views. The Ellen Jennings, which is an human resources expert, said, I look for people that are dedicated to a job or tasks, reliable, career-oriented, that takes initiative, self-motivated, and have good work ethics. I think it's very, very clear what she's saying. Another friend of mine, an entrepreneur, David Boatwright, he says, he's from Odessa actually, West Texas. In his country way, he says, dependable, Gian. Work ethic, not lazy. And this is very David. He says, not having to be told what to do every 10 minutes. They have to be self-motivated. This is what David says. Another friend of mine, Jerry Bell, he is an IT expert. He works with computers, but he has also employees working for him. He says, I will say someone that has confidence, willing to learn, and has high morals and integrity. That is what Jerry Bell says. Another friend of mine, he is retired. He worked for the oil field for many, many years for a gigantic corporation. His name is Herb Morgan. He says, integrity, trustworthy, loyalty, punctuality, committed, and team player. Another vital characteristic, he says. Very important one, what he says, what Herb says. Good friend, Herb Morgan. Another friend of mine is an entrepreneur, Dan Medlock. He says, dependability, willing to learn, positive attitude. 3 things. Clear. Another friend, Roy Smotherman. He is also retired from a big corporation. He says, friendly, honesty, punctuality, willingness to serve and help others. Very important as well. And the other friend who gave his opinion is, he's an expert in management, Jack Henry. He said, I will stick with 2 words, honesty and integrity, he said. And some of those friends, you can see the video of their views in the following minutes. And let me play it for you so you will see them here right now.
Just a few thoughts on what I think would be appropriate in looking for a person that you want to have as an employee. I think it's important for God to direct me in making that decision because I want the right person to be in there. Also, I'd like for that person to be a friendly person. I think a smile and just a pleasant look means a lot when you're dealing with other people, and that's the way you'd want them to deal with other people. I think you want to make sure they're honest people because you want them to be honest in their dealings with you and also with your customers. I think it's important for them to be on time when they're doing anything with you. And I think it's also very important to help other people. You know, it's important, I think, for you, even on the job, you'll see other people that need help and you can be helpful to them and help them and encourage them. And then I think it's important for me to pray for others because I think that's just an important thing that God will take care of them and just help them do the best job in the world. And I think that pretty well covers it. Thank you.
The 3 attributes I look for in my employees: number 1, dependability; number 2, willingness to learn; and number 3, having a positive attitude. Dependability in an employee, not only that you show up on time, but produce consistent work. Willingness to learn. In our high-tech and changing reality, willingness to learn is a crucial skill in surviving. Having a positive attitude helps employees to accomplish tasks faster and in a better manner.
Good afternoon. Brother Gian asked me if I would express what I felt were the most important things when I'm looking to hire an employee. I guess the first thing is honesty. Honesty and integrity, they are synonymous. But if a person is honest, you don't have to worry about them stealing, lying, or cheating someone. They will be happier. They will get along better with their customers. They will be a lot more friendly. The atmosphere will be better. But all in all, honesty and integrity, I think, are the most important things a person have in their favor when they go look for a job. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
All right. So we can see that there are many characteristics that anyone should observe and perform in that way. But for us believers, guys, I don't know what do you think about this, but if we are simply honest and sincere in what we do, I think we have pretty good chances to succeed in whatever we do, right? Just being honest and sincere, and particularly if there is fear for the Lord, right? With the fear for the Lord, we have high possibilities to succeed. And I want to encourage you today, dear viewer and listener, to remember that when you do everything, do it for the Lord, and you will see great results in your life. And with this, we wish you a beautiful evening, many blessings in your week. In the name of Jesus.